entitled Research Methodology. So take note na lang din po yan kasi each chapter of your research paper may kanya-kanyang chapter title yan. So chapter 1 is all about the problem and its background. Chapter 2 is all about the related literature and studies, review of related literature and studies. Now chapter 3 is all about research methodology. So coming from the word methodology, chapter 3 will focus on the different methods, the different tools, and the procedure that you will be using or following in order for you to collect the necessary data. So you have to remember na in chapter 1, you have set up your research objective, na ito yung gusto mong malaman at ito yung gusto mong maging focus on your research topic. And on chapter 2, in-establish ninyo kung ano na yung information na alam na or well-explored na, well-established na about your topic, at inalam din ninyo kung ano yung mga knowledge gap, meaning these are areas in your topic na hindi pa well-explored or completely hindi pa nare-research ng kahit sinong tao. Okay? So yun yung tinatawag nating research gap. Ibig sabihin, konti pa lang yung alam natin about this aspect of this topic. Now, may mga katanungan kayong sinet up in chapter 1. This is your research questions. And sabi natin, at the end of your research, you have to be able to answer these research questions. At paano natin or paano ninyo masasagutan yung mga research questions na yon? Siyempre, you have to gather data from your respondents, from your sample population. So, kailangan makuha natin yung mga kasagutan doon sa mga target respondents ninyo. So, itong chapter 3, what it will discuss or the information that will be covered in chapter 3 is yung method ninyo or yung procedures ninyo on how you are going to gather these necessary information from your target respondents. So, ipe-present ninyo kung ano yung paraan or kung ano yung nakikita ninyong idea, ano yung strategy ninyo para makakuha nitong mga important information na ito. Kasi kapag hindi kayo nakapag-gather ng magandang data, ibig sabihin nun, hindi ninyo masasagot ng maayos yung mga research questions na nilagay ninyo sa chapter 1. So very important in research that you will be able to gather really good quality and relevant data coming from your respondents. Okay? So isa ito sa chine-check ng inyong mga panel members. Feasible ba or doable ba? Is it going to be safe on your side kung ito yung processes na gagawin ninyo in data gathering? So ito yung isa sa mga chine-check nila during proposal presentation. So let's learn all about the different parts of the chapter 3. Paki-take note na lang po kung ano yung first part at kung ano yung mga important information na dapat nakapaloob per part of this chapter. Okay po ba yon? Ready na po ba tayong mag-take note? Taas ang kamay. ABM and STEM grade 11. Yan, so may mga naka-ready ang kanilang mga notebook at ang kanilang mga ballpen. So sige, let's start. The first part of chapter 3 is called your research approach. Now, for your research approach, tatlo lang ang option nyo dyan. It's either you're going to do a qualitative research study or a quantitative research study, or it's going to be a combination of both qualitative and quantitative research studies, which is what we call as the mixed approach. So going back to your title, pag-usapan ninyo as a group or as a partner or kausapin mo yung sarili mo individually, in which kind of research will you be able to gather the yung pinakamaganda at pinaka-enough quantitatively na data. So kung yung topic mo ay correlational, ibig sabihin, you're trying to identify yung influence ng isang factor with another factor. So automatic yon, quantitative ang study mo. Pero kung you just want to explore a phenomenon na nakikita or na-observe within the community, then that is a qualitative study. Kaya nga ang discussion natin sa research, if you will remember the first 4 weeks ng research class natin, what we learned is the difference between qualitative and quantitative research. So dito ninyo i-apply yung idea ninyo about qualitative and quantitative. So mag-decide po kayo as a group anong uri ng research yung gagawin ninyo. Ito ba ay quali, ito ba ay quanti, or ito ay mixed approach. So once you have decided kung anong klaseng research ang gagawin ninyo, then for the research approach, the first thing that you have to do is to state what kind of research are you going to do. So kung quali yan, qualitative study. Kung quanti yan, quantitative study. Kung combination yan, mixed approach ang gagamitin ninyo. And then after you state kung anong klaseng study siya or kung anong klaseng research siya, syempre provide a brief definition or description. What is a qualitative study? What is a quantitative study? And what is a mixed approach? Isama ninyo yung information such as what are the advantages of doing a qualitative research study? What are the advantages of doing a quantitative research study? If you can add more information such as kung ano yung mga disadvantages niya, ano yung mga common uses niya. So basically, you will provide information about the kind of research approach that you will be doing. And then at the end of that, you have to explain at makapagbigay kayo ng personal reasons or personal justifications ninyo on why you think dapat qualitative research study ang gagawin ninyo or bakit appropriate yung quantitative research study para sa research topic ninyo. So, i-defend ninyo kung bakit yun yung pinili ninyong uri ng research. Okay po? So, tatlong information ang dapat kong makikita dyan. Number 1, anong klaseng research study ang gagawin ninyo? Number 2, as many information about your chosen kind of research study. And then number 3, yung justification ninyo or yung explanation ninyo on why you think pinaka-appropriate yung kind of research na yan for your research topic. Now, another reminder, since you will be including information about the kind of research that you will be doing, please be reminded of plagiarism, that we do not accept plagiarized works. So for information that you will be using coming from other authors or coming from other people, such as yung definition niya, yung description niya, advantages niya, common uses niya, those information will be coming from other people. You will use information coming from books, dictionaries, articles that you found online. So you can use their idea, but make sure na you paraphrase or you say it using your own words. Never ever copy paste ng direct copy paste kung ano yung nakita ninyo online, i-paste lang ninyo doon sa inyong document. Never ever do that. That's plagiarism. And under the student handbook of SAASI, that is classified as an offense under academic honesty. So, hindi po siya acceptable, okay? And after you say it in your own words, after you paraphrase these information, make sure that you have proper in-text citation doon sa paragraph ninyo. Okay po? So research approach, it doesn't have to be long. Normally, 1 to 2 paragraphs lang yan in length. depending on how many or how much information you can provide about the kind of research that you will be doing. Basta ang titignan ko dyan is maipaliwanag ninyo or ma-justify ninyo ng maayos kung bakit yun yung napili ninyong kind of research, at saka syempre that you follow the rules of paraphrasing at saka citations when it comes to using other people's ideas. Okay, nagkakaintindihan po ba tayo doon, grade 11? Malinaw po ba ang research approach? Okay, so far wala namang nagre-raise ng hand. So I will assume na malinaw siya at alam na ninyo ang gagawin ninyo. So after the research approach, the second part is what we call as your research design. So related po ito sa research approach. Kapag sinabi nating research design, ito yung iba't ibang uri ng qualitative research or iba't ibang uri ng quantitative research. So for example, in class we learned na we have 5 kinds of qualitative research. We have the ethnography, we have the phenomenology, we have the historical or the narrative research, we have case study, at saka we have action plan or action action research. So kung ang napili ninyo sa research approach ay qualitative study, ibig sabihin sa research design, ang option nyo lang ay yung iba't ibang uri ng qualitative research study. So anong uri ng qualitative research kayo? So most of the time, ang pinaka-common ay yung phenomenology. Wala akong makikitang ethnography sa inyo kasi sabi natin, di ba dati, ang ethnography, you have to immerse yourself in the actual community. Wala naman talagang mag-i-immersion sa inyo. Wala namang, for example, ang topic ninyo is mga ITAS, wala namang titira with the ITAS for 1 month just to really observe and interview people and really understand their way of life. So most of the time, kapag ang mga students ay gumagawa ng qualitative study, most of the time what they are doing is a phenomenology. Pero syempre, do not limit yourself to phenomenology. Pwede kayong gumawa ng action research, pwede kayong gumawa ng case study, at pwede kayong gumawa ng narrative or historical. So it's upon you as a group to come up with reasons and finally decide anong uri ng research design ang ating gagawin. Okay po? The same if you are going to do a quantitative research approach. Kung pagdating sa research approach, ang pinili ninyo ay quantitative, 4 lang ang choices ninyo when it comes to the research design. It's either you will do a descriptive research, you will do a correlational research, a cause and effect research, or an experimental research. So for STEM, if you will be doing an experimental research, ibig sabihin, ang research design ninyo is an experimental research. Pero kung basic description lang, you're just going to describe ano nga ba ito, then that is a simple descriptive research. So balikan po ninyo yung ating discussion on the kinds of qualitative research at saka yung kinds of quantitative research for you to refresh your mind, para makapag-decide kayo ng mas maayos kung ano nga bang research approach at anong appropriate research design para sa research topic ninyo. So similar information ang titignan ko sa research design. Number 1, you have to state ano yung napag-desisyonan ninyong research design na gagawin ninyo. Number 2, you have to provide information about your chosen research design. Information ranges from definition, a basic description, its common uses, advantages, and disadvantages. For the information, it has to be paraphrased, and your sources must be cited properly. Okay, so we follow the rules of plagiarism. And then the third information that I will be looking for your research design is, of course, your justification or yung explanation ninyo as a group or as researchers kung bakit ito yung napili ninyo for your research topic. Bakit sa tingin ninyo ito yung pinaka-akma or pinaka-fit, pinaka-appropriate para doon sa objectives na sinet ninyo about your research topic. So magkadugtong po yan ha. Pag qualitative study, yung research design ninyo must only be limited to the different kinds of qualitative study. The same, kapag quantitative study yan, syempre yung research design ninyo will be limited to the different kinds of quantitative research studies. Nagkakaintindihan po ba tayo doon? Taas ang kamay. Okay. So, paano naman, teacher, kung mixed approach yung ginawa naming research approach? Kasi sabi mo, napakaganda ng mix. Ang dami mo ng respondents, tas napaka-in-depth pa ng data na makukuha mo pag mixed. Kapag mixed kasi, ibig sabihin, combination siya ng quantitative at saka qualitative. So, pagdating ninyo sa research design, ibig sabihin, isang qualitative at isang quantitative ang pipiliin ninyo. So kung on the qualitative aspect of your paper, phenomenology siya, tapos pagdating sa quantitative, descriptive research siya, then you have to describe both phenomenology and both descriptive research. Okay po, sa inyong research design. And you also have to provide justification kung bakit yung qualitative aspect niya sa tingin ninyo ay phenomenology at kung bakit yung quantitative aspect niya sa tingin ninyo ay descriptive research. Okay po? So, again, research design for quali and quantitative, napakaiksi lang yan. Mga 1 to 2 paragraphs is enough, is sufficient for you to do your research design. Kung kayo ay mag-mixed approach, siguro 3 to 4 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs is actually enough for you to do your research design. So, hindi naman ganun kahaba yung parts na ito ng chapter 3. So, hindi siya katulad ng chapter 2 na talagang very, very detailed yung kanyang content. Okay po? So, pagtatapos ng research design, let's go to the third part of chapter 3, which is all about your research instrument. So, connected din yan doon sa research approach at saka yung research design ninyo. Connected sila dapat, hindi pwedeng, hindi sila aligned sa isa't isa. So, kung kayo ay gagawa ng qualitative research approach, ibig sabihin, ang research instrument ninyo can be an interview questionnaire, or it can be diary or journal entries, lalong-lalo na sa narrative or historical research. Okay po? So, pero pinaka-common, and I say pinaka-common, but not limited, pinaka-common na instrument na ginagamit for gathering data for qualitative research approach is syempre through an interview questionnaire. Kasi di ba pag qualitative, usually ang information natin we gather by interviewing people. So yung research instrument ninyo, ito yung tool na gagamitin ninyo para makapag-gather ng information. So kung kayo ay mag-i-interview, ang instrument ninyo ay interview questionnaire. Common yan sa qualitative research study. Kung napili nyo naman ay quantitative research study, then ang research instrument nyo commonly ay survey questionnaire. Kasi instead of conducting interviews, you will conduct survey from your sample population. Pero syempre, hindi limited sa survey questionnaire ang instrument. If you're going to do experimental, syempre, kailangan mong mag-conduct ng experiment. So, ang research instrument mo ay doing an experimental setup. So, depende po sa uri ng research na gagawin ninyo kung ano yung instrument or ano yung gamit, yung tool na gagamitin ninyo para makakuha ng data from your sample population. Okay po? So again, kapag nakapag-decide na kayo kung anong uri ng instrument ang gagawin ninyo, then you state what kind of instrument you will be utilizing or using for your research. And then provide information about your chosen instrument. Ano nga ba ang advantages ng interview questionnaire versus the advantage ng survey questionnaire versus the advantage of using diary entries versus the advantage of doing experiments. So may mga advantages yan per instrument. At gamitin ninyo yung information na yon for you to justify kung bakit yun yung pinaka-appropriate at convenient na instrument para makuha or mag-gather ninyo yung kailangan ninyong data para masagot yung research questions ninyo at makapag-come up kayo ng conclusions at the end of your research paper. Okay po? So again, for information, always cite your sources and always paraphrase. Say it using your own words. Basahin nyo muna siya, intindihin nyo muna yung binasa ninyo bago ninyo siya sabihin in your own words. Para hindi tayo makakasuhan ng plagiarism. Okay po? So again, yung research instrument, ito yung gagamitin ninyo in data gathering. So ano ang gagamitin ninyo in data gathering? So you have to search ano nga ba yung common ways na available sa inyo, lalong-lalo na ngayon pandemic. Hindi kayo pwedeng magbahay-bahay, hindi kayo pwedeng pumunta sa iisang school para mamigay ng mga survey ninyo. Hindi kayo pwedeng magpunta ng, for example, sa mga mall, kasi meron kaming student dati, nagpunta sila sa isang mall, kasi mga consumers, mga buyers yung respondents nila. So, hindi nyo pwedeng gawin yun ngayon kasi pandemic. So, i-consider din ninyo yon in finding the appropriate research instrument. So, kung kayo ay mag-i-interview, meron naman tayong written interview at saka meron naman tayong oral interview na pwede natin gawin kahit hindi face-to-face. Ganon din, if you will do surveys, may iba't iba tayong uri ng survey. Pwede tayong mag-survey using your phones. Yun yung tawag nilang telephone survey. Meron ding written survey. Ipapadala mo sa kanila ng nakaprint sa paper yung survey questionnaire mo. Pwede rin namang online. So gagawa kayo ng online questionnaire, tapos ibibigay ninyo yung link doon sa inyong mga target respondents, pipindutin nila yon, tapos sasagutan nila, mamimili na sila doon sa mga options or mga possible answers doon sa inyong survey questionnaire. So you have to search kung ano yung magagamit ninyo with the limitations and the restrictions in our community sa ngayon. Okay po? So, anong tawag dito? Maging specific kayo what kind of survey, what kind of interview, what kind of experiment you will be doing, and other instruments that you will use to gather your necessary data. And then, pagkatapos ng research instrument, yung pinaka-pang-apat na part ng Chapter 3 is all about your sampling technique. So, yung sampling technique na yan, diniscuss yan ni Teacher Zera sa kanyang subject na Statistics and Probability. So, if you will remember from Teacher Zera, meron tayong dalawang uri ng sampling. We have the probability sampling and the non-probability sampling. So, under probability sampling, ito yung tinatawag nating random, okay? Random sampling technique. So, ibig sabihin, members of the sample population have equal chances of being chosen. So, nakita ko yung isa ata sa performance task na pinagawa ni Teacher Zera, yung meron kayong color wheel, tas may mga number, tas iikutin ninyo, yon ay probability sampling kasi lahat ng numbers doon sa wheel na yon has equal chances of being chosen. Or for example, yung ginagawa ng teachers ninyo, may isang bowl, tas lahat ng pangalan ninyo nandoon, tas randomly, pipili siya kung sino yung name na mabubunot. So, ganun din, kung kayo ay, ang respondents ninyo ay pwedeng kahit sino or anyone within the community ay pwede ninyong maging respondent, then you can do a random sampling technique. So, ibig sabihin nun, randomize, pipili lang kayo ng kung sino ang available doon sa community. Okay? So, meron pang iba't ibang uri ng probability sampling technique ha. Meron pa tayo yung clustered. So, paki-double check ninyo yung naging discussion ninyo kay Teacher Zera kung ano sa tingin ninyo yung appropriate na sampling technique para sa research ninyo. Now, other than probability, meron din kasi tayong tinatawag na non-probability sampling technique. Ibig sabihin, hindi randomized or hindi equal yung chances of being chosen within your sample population. Kasi in this case, ito yung usually may mga target groups of respondents kayo. Hindi pwedeng kung sino-sino lang. May mga specific people kayo na yun lang ang pwede ninyong isama sa study ninyo. So for example, yung isang group ng grade 12 students, ang topic nila is all about the academic attitude of students with OFW parents. So syempre, hindi pwedeng kung sino-sinong estudyante lang ang isa-survey or i-interviewin nila. Very specific kasi yung group of target respondents nila. So, ang target nila is yung mga high school students na may parents na nagwo-work abroad. At hindi lang basta-basta nagwo-work abroad, dapat even now, during the pandemic, nasa abroad yung kanilang mga parents. Hindi pwedeng, kasi meron tayong mga OFW na nakauwi before the pandemic or nakauwi during the pandemic tas hindi pa nakakabalik. So, hindi pwede yung mga ganon. Kailangan yung parents nila during the duration of the pandemic ay nasa ibang bansa. Okay? So, very specific yon. At the same time, inano nila na yung mga students ay dapat enrolled, currently enrolled this school year, at they are learning in a school that offers online classes. Kasi yun yung gusto nilang makita. Ano nga daw ba yung effect sa pag-aaral, sa academic attitude ng mga estudyante na nag-online class ngayon, pero wala silang mga parents na matutulong sa kanila or magpo-provide ng guidance sa kanila. So, is it just the same? Katulad lang din ng normal or other students? Mas may positive effect ba yun? Kasi syempre, are they motivated to study more and to perform more in school? Kasi syempre nakikita nila yung sacrifices ng parents nila to provide them with good education or better opportunities for the future? Or sila ba ay negatively affected kasi kulang yung guidance at kulang yung help, walang tumutulong sa kanila sa pagsasagot ng module? So yun yung gusto nilang ma-explore. So hindi sila basta-basta pwedeng mag-survey ng mga estudyante. Very specific. Talagang may inclusion criteria silang ginagamit doon sa kanilang wait lang ha. Doon sa kanilang respondents sa kanilang research topic. So in their case, hindi sila pwedeng mag-random sampling technique. Ang pwede nilang gamitin is more of yung probability sampling technique na nakafocus na sila doon sa iisang sa specific group of people. So ano nga ba yung mga common na ginagamit na probability sampling technique? Number 1, purposive sampling. So when we say purposive sampling, ibig sabihin ito yung may target kayo na groups of people. May mga kakilala kayo na na masasatisfy yung mga checklist ninyo para masabing sila ay part of the respondents or pwede silang maging respondents for your study. Other than purposive, meron din tayong tinatawag na snowball sampling technique. Ibig sabihin ito yung mga recommendations. May kakilala ako, yung kakilala ko may kakilala rin na ganyan. Yung kakilala niya may kakilala din. So, palaki ng palaki, kaya siya tinatawag na snowball or snowball effect kasi siya. Habang bumababa yung snowball, palaki siya ng palaki. So, the idea of snowball sampling technique is more of recommendations ng ibang tao. Okay? So, yung isa sa research study ng grade 12 ngayon is yung reintegration ng mga ex-convicts sa community. Ibig sabihin yung mga nakulong at nakalaya na, ano yung experiences nila dun sa pagbabalik nila sa buhay outside of prison. Sila ba ay nakaka-experience ng discrimination? Sila ba ay nakaka-experience ng idea na nahihirapan silang maghanap ng trabaho? Sila ba ay nakaka-experience ng within the community na hindi sila pinagkakatiwalaan? Alam niyo yung mga ganon experiences nila as they reintegrate back to the normal life. So yun yung kanilang topic. So syempre, hindi naman ma-expect na marami silang kakilalang nakulong na or nakalaya na anong tawag dito? Na convict. So ang ginamit talaga nila ay snowball. More of, ang ibig sabihin nun ay kung may kakilala kang isa, tapos yung kakilala mong yon, kung sino yung mga nakasama niya sa bilibid, nakasama niya sa kulungan, i-recommend niya sa inyo. Tapos hanggang sa parami na siya ng parami. So yun yung snowball sampling technique na ginawa nila. Okay? So qualitative sila ay nag-interview ng, anong tawag dito, mga nakalaya na nakulong dati. Okay? So, ayan po yung sampling technique. Again, you need to provide 3 information. Ano yung napagdesisyonan ninyong sampling technique na gagamitin ninyo for your study. Provide information about this specific sampling technique. Paraphrase this information. Cite your sources. And then number 3, provide your justification or explanation kung bakit yan yung appropriate na sampling technique for your research topic. So if you want, you can consult with Ms. Zera. Kung medyo nakalimutan na ninyo at meron mga recordings ng video ng kanyang previous discussion, pwede ninyong balikan para ma-refresh ninyo ang inyong mga utak. Pwede ninyong balikan yung mga notebooks ninyo kung kayo ay nag-take ng notes. Or pwede kayong magtanong kay Ms. Zera, makipag-consult sa kanya kung ano yung sa tingin niya or maisasuggest niyang sampling technique para sa inyo. Okay po? So that is sampling technique. Taas ang kamay if we are good with the idea of sampling technique. So now let's move forward to the next part of your research paper, chapter 3. So the next part is all about the research local. So coming from the word local, ibig sabihin, ito yung lugar or locality kung saan kayo magko-conduct ng inyong data gathering. Okay, so syempre kailangan, usually sa atin, sabi natin, di ba, we want to benefit our immediate community. So syempre, dahil sila yung target natin na beneficiaries for our research paper, for our research endeavors, usually ang research local natin ay yung immediate community din natin. So most of the time, subic ang research local na pinipili ng mga researchers. Okay? So dati, nung face-to-face pa at pwede silang magpunta sa iba't ibang lugar, very specific yung kanilang research local. Yung iba, nagko-conduct ng data gathering sa KNS lang, sa Kolegyo ng Subic. So nagpupunta kami dyan. Tapos doon sila nagsusurvey, doon sila nag-i-interview ng mga students. May time din na nagpunta kami sa Ilwas kasi meron kaming group of researchers dati na ang target naman nilang respondents ay public school teachers. So nagpunta sila sa Ilwas, nagbigay sila ng questionnaire doon sa mga high school teachers ng Ilwas. Yung iba naman ay nagpunta ng Naugsul or Subic National High School. So very specific ang research lokal nila. Now, unfortunately, hindi siya pwedeng gawin ngayon. Kasi kahit magpunta tayo ng Naugsul or ng Ilwas, wala namang estudyante doon. Okay? So ngayon, ang option natin is whole community talaga. So kung kayo ay magra-random sampling technique at kahit sino within the community ay pwede nating maging included in our target respondents, okay lang na specific barangay. For example, yung sa segregation dati, ang research local nila ay Santa Elena in Calapacuan at saka Kawag. Kasi yun yung kinompare nila when it comes to practices sa trash segregation. Kinompare nila kung pareho ba yung practices na ginagawa at pareho ba yung level of effectiveness at compliance ng mga tao. So specific yon. Pwede rin namang in general, buong Subic. So for example, yung sa ABM, ang kanyang target respondents ay mga consumers. So when we say consumers, ibig sabihin lahat ng namimili at nag-a-avail ng services. So marami yan, halos lahat. Di ba? Maliban lang dun sa mga bata at walang pera. Pero halos lahat ay considered as consumers. So pwedeng nasa isang barangay ka lang or pwedeng buong Subic. Marami na yung available na respondents para sa'yo. Pero kung kayo ay magiging probability sampling, for example, yung purposive or yung snowball, na at hindi ninyo ma-assure or hindi kayo makakasigurado na makaka-survey or makakakuha kayo ng enough number of respondents within your community, pwede naman tayong mag-expand doon sa mga katabing communities natin, such as Olongapo, Castillejos, ganyan. So, balikan natin yung example ng OFW parents. Isa sa requirement kasi nila is dapat yung student ay naka-enroll sa isang school na nag-offer ng online class. Kung ang research lokal nila ay Subic lang, hindi enough yung respondents na makukuha nila. Number one, ilan lang bang schools sa Subic ang nag-offer ng online maliban sa SAASI? Di ba? Wala halos. So, hindi naman lahat ng estudyante ng SAASI pwede nilang maging respondent. Dapat yung meron lang parent na nagtatrabaho abroad. So, very little talaga yung makukuha nilang respondents in Subic. So, ang ginawa nila, nag-expand sila sa Olongapo. Ang research lokal nila ay Olongapo City and Subic, Zambales. So, bakit kailangan idagdag yung Olongapo? Kasi mas maraming schools yung nag-offer ng online modality in schools in Olongapo. Number one, Kulumban. May offer na online learning or online classes ang Kulumban. Even Aura ay nag-offer ng online classes for their senior high school students. Regional Science High School, kasama siya, meron din siyang ino-offer na online class. So, dahil sinama nila yung Olongapo, ibig sabihin, mas dumadami yung available at pwedeng respondents for their topic. So, maa-assure na sila na enough yung number of respondents nila to gather the necessary data for their research. So pag-usapan ninyo as a group, can we satisfy the number of respondents in just Subic or in just one barangay, or do we need to expand more? For number of respondents kasi, ang range niyan talaga is around 30 to 60 respondents. Pag interview, 30 is acceptable. Pag survey, usually 50 to 60 ang respondents na kailangan ninyong mahanap. So with that number in mind, pag-usapan ninyo, will you be able to satisfy the required number of respondents? So yung balikan natin yung example nung, anong tawag dito? yung mga ex-convicts, sila ay nagsubik lang. Kasi nakita naman nila, gumawa sila ng list, nakita naman nila na satisfy nila yung number of respondents kahit nasa subik lang. Based on the recommendations ng mga kakilala nila. Okay? Pero kung hindi, then you can extend sa other localities. Another example is yung sa ABM, I think 2 years ago, ang target respondents nila is yung mga businesses na self-owned, sariling tayong business. So, syempre kung sa Subic, medyo konti lang din yon. Ang mga options, yung mga throwback, yung dati sa matain na, bingos, ganyan. Pero hindi naman ganon karami. So, ang ginawa nila, nag-extend sila hanggang Barreto at Castillejos para masatisfy nila yung number of business owners na kailangan nilang ma-interview. Kasi yun ang sabi nila. They want to interview yung mga self-owned na business. Hindi pwede yung Jollibee, hindi pwede yung 7-Eleven. Okay? So yan yung research local. The same, once you have chosen your research local, please provide a brief information or history about your chosen locality at kung bakit yun yung napili ninyong locality for your research. And then after you establish that, then you will do your data gathering procedure. So the data gathering procedure, this is the step-by-step na gagawin ninyo in order for you to gather the necessary data from your respondents. Kung meron kayong initial interview, kung meron kayong final interview, ibig sabihin hindi lang once kayo magko-conduct ng interview, okay lang yan. Kasi yung sa ex-convicts, ganun yung ginawa nila. May initial, tsaka may final interview sila. So bawat respondent, 2 beses nilang i-interview. So for online survey, paano yung step-by-step procedure nyon? Gawa kayong questionnaire, you will provide the link, and then you will wait until ma-accomplish ninyo or ma-satisfy ninyo yung number of respondents doon sa online questionnaire na ibinigay ninyo. Yung iba naman, magko-conduct ng survey, tapos from doon sa respondents nila ng survey, randomly mamimili sila ng 5, at yung 5 yon ang i-interviewin nila. Mixed approach yun. May survey na, may interview pa. Paano nyo gagawin yung written interview? Paano nyo gagawin yung oral interview? So yung mga ganon, yung step-by-step procedure, paki-discuss po dito sa ating, dito sa ating data gathering procedure. For STEM students, if you will be doing an experimental research, paki-indicate yung materials and equipments na gagamitin ninyo for your experimentation. At the same time, paki-provide step-by-step and very detailed, including yung quantity, yung dami, kung 100 ml ng water yan, kung 3 cups of acetic acid yan, paki-indicate step-by-step, very detailed, yung inyong magiging data gathering procedure. Now, for experimentation, you can copy ideas from previous experiments na nagawa na. Wala namang masama doon kung meron tayong basis doon sa procedure na gagamitin natin. Yun nga lang, I want to clarify this, even if ginaya natin yung procedure coming from a previous study, make sure that it is also paraphrased. So, kailangan nyo pa rin siyang sabihin using your own words. And you have to cite your sources. Kasi may nangyari na sa amin yan 2 years ago, STEM group, nangopya sila ng procedure from another research paper. Hindi sila nag-paraphrase. Naka-in-text citation pero hindi paraphrased yung kanilang procedure. So they were, nung nag-present sila sa kanilang panel, nakita na plagiarized yung work nila. And unfortunately, yung isang member nila doon ay dapat academic ano tawag dito? Dapat academic achiever, dapat honor student siya. Pero dahil may kaso siya ng plagiarism and academic dishonesty, natanggal yung award niya. Just because nag-copy-paste ng data gathering procedure from a previous research or from a previous experiment. So we can get ideas, we can pattern the procedure from previous researches. Lalo na kung nung gumawa kayo ng chapter 2, meron kayong nakita na talagang similar sa study ninyo at pwede ninyong pagbasehan. Walang problema doon. Make sure lang that everything is using your own words. Walang copy-paste. At saka, you cite your sources properly. So, hindi enough na may citations lang ha. Kasi sila cited. Properly cited yung kanilang procedure. Pero, copy-pasted. So, nagkaroon pa rin sila ng violation. So, umulit sila nun ng data gathering procedure. So, you have to be careful with that, ha? Just a reminder and just a clarification na yes, you can, but make sure it's paraphrased and that you cite your sources properly. Huwag kayong mag-a-attempt na mag-present ng research paper ninyo sa panel ninyo kung alam ninyong plagiarize yung gawa ninyo. Kasi isa yan sa chine-check nila. At pwedeng may output kayo pero hindi nila kayo bibigyan ng grade. Kasi sasabihin lang ng panel sa inyo, this is not your work. This is the work of other people because you just copy-paste it. So why should I give you a grade? Which is my point naman. Nagpasa ka ng hindi mo gawa, bakit ka bibigyan ng grade or ng points para sa bagay na hindi mo naman ginawa? Okay? So, paki-double check from chapters 1, 2, and 3 na hindi kayo makakapag-violate ng plagiarism. Okay po ba yon? STEM and ABM, grade 11, taas ang kamay. Malinaw yon ha. Zero tolerance tayo sa cheating and academic dishonesty. So plagiarism is not going to be tolerated. And then after ninyo ma-establish yung inyong data gathering procedure, nakuha na ninyo, for example, na-gather na ninyo yung inyong data, paano nyo siya i-analyze? Kasi yung analysis na yan, diyan manggagaling yung sagot doon sa inyong research questions. So for quantitative research, papasok dyan yung mga statistical tests na tinuro ni Teacher Zera. Kayo ba ay gagamit ng descriptive statistics, meaning mean, median, mode? Kayo ba ay gagamit ng central, central theory table, yung may f of x, cumulative, yung c of f, f of c, c of f, cumulative, blah blah, f of x, yung mga ganon. Kayo ba ay gagamit ng ANOVA or analysis of variance? Kayo ba ay gagamit ng t-test? Kung kayo ay magko-compare and to identify differences, kayo ba ay mag-t-test? For correlational, kayo ba ay gagamit ng Sperman-Rho? So anong statistical test ang gagamitin ninyo for you to analyze yung data na nakuha ninyo and to say na majority ng mga students na may parents ng OFW, wala namang effect sa kanilang academic attitude. They are like normal students. Paano nyo masasabi yon? Na talagang statistically, pareho lang naman sila performance-wise. Attendance nila, pareho lang din. Submission and performance sa school, ganun lang din. So how are you going to say? Paano ninyo i-analyze yung data ninyo? So again, balikan ninyo ang discussion sa statistics and probability. Go back to your notes or consult with Ms. Zera. Schedule a time kung kailan free si Teacher Zera at pwede kayong magpa-consult as a group sa kung ano ang okay na statistical test for your research topic. For qualitative research naman, pwede kayong mag-thematic analysis, meaning i-identify ninyo ano yung nag-i-emerge na theme. Lahat ba ng mga ex-convict, pare-pareho ba sila ng experiences? Majority ba sa kanila ganito ang experiences? So ano yung mga themes na nag-emerge? And for data analysis, we can ask help from Miss Kesha, lalong-lalo na later on pagtapos ninyo ng interview, tutulungan kayo ni Teacher Kesha pagdating ng grade 12 kung paano ninyo i-analyze for qualitative research yung mga interview na ginawa ninyo. So again, kapag nakapili na kayo kung ano yung strategy ninyo to analyze the data you have gathered, pag numerical yan, malamang statistics yan. Pag non-numerical, other than thematic analysis, ano pa yung mga pwedeng strategies for you to analyze non-numerical data. So once you have come up with this as a group, again, provide a brief description or information about your chosen strategy to analyze your data, and then provide justifications kung bakit yun ang napili ninyo for your research paper. Okay po? So that is the end